Maybe if we had more production from the point guard position, we'd be in a better spot.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. Josh, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm just tired as hell.
You
Very
look
tired.
tired. You look tired. And and I think every Auburn fan out there right now is tired of what we are seeing at the point guard position. Josh, we're going to dive right into it. Tonight is just nothing but basketball. It's all basketball. Is there even football at this point? No. Um,
Oh,
so
what was the last game we watched?
last game we watched was the Iron Bowl of basketball, unfortunately, where Auburn fell to
I
Alabama
don't
when
I
they
don't
went
think that
on
was the
a
last game we
tear.
watched, Cameron.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about the last football game we watched where my New England Patriots lost. We're not talking about that, Josh. We are talking about Auburn basketball. Leads me right into we're not even broaching it. Leads me right into our first topic, Josh. Does Auburn have a problem at point guard? I feel like it's a simple yes, right?
I would say so, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping Magwood would be able to be the Pettiford to Hod Pettiford. We thought he could come in,
Yeah.
spell him for a few minutes, and be able to just outperform what we have seen up to this point, which is almost zero Magwood. And then you throw in the fact that Todd Pettiford himself is having a down year. Josh, he's getting
Well, he
more
had one of his
usage.
most productive games against Alabama.
He did. He did. That is very true. But still, his let's see here. His field goal percentage, yeah, was up to 56%. 3 points still a little lackluster, but it's okay. Overall on the year, and maybe that game was where Tahad is gonna take a step forward, and we're gonna see a lot better Hod from now on. But up to this point, Josh, he's playing almost 10 minutes more a game but shooting 6%, 7% less than what he was last year. And his 3 point percentage is down an entire 10% from last
It's
year.
pretty abysmal.
Turnovers are up, assists are up. So he's got that going for him. Rebounds up a little bit, not much, but up a little bit. And his free throw percentage is up. So he's doing some things right, but he just is it a sophomore slump? Is it as easy as that?
I think the early season woes have been to due to team chemistry and him trying to
Okay.
figure out his role with him and Keyshawn Hall on the court at the same time. Uh, Magwood being benched for the entire season thus far has played a very big role in it. Um, there's just a lot of selfishness on this team at the beginning of the year. I mean, it does like everything looks a lot more cohesive than it did early in the season. I no longer think they are an NIT team. I
Oh,
do
we're gonna get
think
to that, Josh. That's gonna be our
okay,
last
okay.
topic. Let's save it for that. You
I
kind of
just
just
I
spoiled that a
think
little bit.
I think Tahad is finally starting to settle into his actual role on the team. So I think he's going to continue this momentum going forward. It's just rough that you know he did all he could to get us the win against Alabama. Just things that transpired in the game tended to go Alabama's way there late in the
Yeah,
second half.
Alabama put on a clinic from behind the arc and just could not miss. Phylon was a man among boys in all
Yes.
reality. Um, but Josh, my thing is with Todd Pettiford and I, man, I want to agree with you as far as the issues at the beginning of the season, but I at this point I tend to think he was in the wrong with the way that he was handling trying to take over the team. This team clearly has to go through Keyshawn Hall as far as its primary offensive weapon, and Todd just didn't want to give that up. And I'm glad that he is starting to. I'm glad that he's letting Keyshawn take over, and he's taken a back seat to that because they're not even in the same stratosphere, if you ask me. I love
No.
Todd Pettiford. I think I love the fact that he came back. I love that he is rallying the team, and there's been reports of him, challenging the team a little bit. So I commend him for that. But then at the same time, you see something like we did on Saturday, where Stephen Pearl is getting on to him and talking to him, and is just really pissed off at him. And Tahad is out there looking like freaking Aiden Holloway, looking away, not even caring what's being said. Not
I,
not
I I must
not
have
to
missed that.
mention Aiden Holloway going on to play really well for Alabama in this game.
I mean, he only had 15 points, shot 1 for 3 from behind the arc, but the 3-pointer he made was a big 3-pointer. It
Yeah,
was a clutch
it
shot.
felt bigger then.
Um, yes, but I mean, in all reality, we got solid minutes and points from our starters minus Sebastian Williams Adams. We have to have better production from our bench. We really do. I think we had a combined, what was it, 6 points from our bench, 7 points from our bench, and only 3 players on our bench played. I mean, you have to have better production from your
Yeah,
bench players whenever you have a starter that isn't going above 6 points.
yeah. And it's kind of crappy, and it sucks that we don't have Magwood and we're playing, essentially a walk on, um, for all intents and purposes, major minutes every SEC game.
Yeah.
Um, Something's got to change. There is a problem. I wish we were able to find a solution. I wish we could go out there and get Jared Harper or Denver Jones or Bryce Brown. I wish we could go out there and
I
find
mean, it's
these
not going to
these
happen.
these pro players,
Bediako
but
was just Bediako was just denied his
oh,
eligibility. Yeah, the two
after
days
the
after the yeah
sure,
after the
yeah,
game, he was denied his eligibility, and now there's talk that Alabama might even have to forfeit this win in any statistics they had in the 5 games he played. I
good,
don't think that's going to happen, but
but it should.
um, it should definitely because he's no longer eligible to play college basketball ever again.
Well, good. He was no longer a college athlete. He was a pro athlete. Moving
Yes.
right along, Josh. There's been a lot of questions this year, and I think I know where you stand, and I know where I stand. But can Stephen Pearl be trusted to get the most out of this team?
Out of this team, I think he can be trusted to get the most out of it. Everyone knew, any rational Auburn fan knew this year was a rebuilding year.
Mm,
Uh, Bruce did what he could to put together a solid roster before he retired. So he did his best to put Steven in a good spot. The
except for
beginning of the year, I didn't.
the schedule.
Yeah, the
He
schedule
cut
was
his
rough.
leg off
I
right
mean,
there.
that's Bruce for you. That was Bruce. Every year he was
Uh-huh.
Auburn head coach. He wanted the toughest. He wanted to play the toughest to prove that they were the toughest. I mean, but at the beginning of the year, I thought Stephen Pearl was simply a nepo hire, and I think everyone
Mm.
thought he was a nepo
I'm
hire.
glad you owned up to
But
that.
yeah, the more the season goes on, though, I think Stephen Pearl, he's starting to find his rhythm. He's starting to find his coaching style. He holds these guys accountable. He doesn't let anything slide. If they make a mistake, he lets them know they made a mistake as well as he made a mistake, and trusting them to not make that mistake. Moving forward, I would like to see how he recruits moving forward into
Mm.
next year and beyond. He's got some holes to fill, that's for sure. But moving forward, I do have more confidence in him leading Auburn basketball than I did at the beginning of the year.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you feel that way because that's what I thought you were gonna say, and I'm glad you owned up to it because I was gonna call you on it. Now I will call you on this. You said any rational Auburn fan knew that this was a rebuilding year. You treated the beginning of the season in the complete opposite. You did not seem to be the rational person here. You thought that they were gonna go to the NIT. You were just all doom and gloom. You were talking about how terrible
That
of a
would be a
hire it
rebuilding
was.
year.
I'm just saying, no, no, no. You just
I haven't
okay, okay,
backpedaled
okay,
on
okay,
anything I've
okay,
said. Not a
okay.
single. I
All
haven't
right,
backpedaled on anything.
okay, all
Maybe
right.
except for Keyshawn Hall. I will say I've backpedaled on
I
Keyshawn Hall a bit.
I just think that you thought that this was going to be a better team and a better opportunity than it was. That's the feeling I got early on in the season. So I'm not saying that you were backpedaling. I'm saying that early on in the season, you did not see it as a rebuilding year. You saw it as us. We should have been in the upper echelon, like we have in years
I,
past. I
I
am
do think
subject
with
to
the
that as
talent on
well.
the roster, we
I
should
really was.
have.
That's true. That's and I
With the
fall in that
talent on the
same boat.
roster, yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I do. Um, I as the year has gone on, I've been more and more impressed with Stephen Pearl. Now he is winless in single digit games, winless in the SEC play. That is. So I'm a little concerned that if it's a close game, can this team close it out? We saw this as an issue with the football team in every year that Hugh Freeze was here, and it seems to have trickled over into the basketball team with this new coach. But I think Stephen Pearl can get the most out of this team. I love the fact you hinted at this that he is holding players accountable, and he's not as free willing and free loving as Bruce was. And Bruce was a player's coach a lot more than Steven was. And I think it's going to be something that we have to get used to. I also haven't quite personally gotten used to the lack of energy on the sideline from the coach. I wish he'd do a little bit more in that regard. But I think so far the team has shown that they are moving in the right direction. He still has their ear
Yes.
and is getting them going. I I texted you this on Saturday. I think despite Alabama's 3-point shooting percentage, I thought this team defensively has gotten so much better as the year has gone on. They are buying into what Stephen Pearl is selling on the defensive end. So I think he can get the most out of this team. Now, let's talk about our last topic here, Josh. And speaking of getting the most out of the team, where do you see this team going? You've already told us that you don't think that this is an NIT team anymore, like you did early on in the season,
Yeah.
unjustly so, but you don't think
It
that.
was not
So
unjust, Cameron. Nothing about this team screamed tournament at the beginning of the season. Nothing.
just a couple minutes ago, you said I have not backpedaled on anything that I have said this year. Let's go ahead and hear that backpedaling right now because I think you're going to. So they're not going to the
I
NIT.
Yeah. I mean, I just said like I just talked about it. I don't think they're NIT anymore. At the beginning of the year, nothing about this team screamed tournament, and I stand by that. Like we
I
we talked
disagree.
about how Stephen Pearl has handled the team since the beginning of the season. I don't know what you want me to say here, Cameron. I mean, it seems like you're trying to get me in a gotcha moment, but I haven't.
I'm
I
trying.
mean, it's
I'm trying. No, the thing is I am I'm glad that you've come around and seen things my way. I'm glad that
well,
you have seen the light, and you can tell that this team is not a NIT team and that it is a tournament
I
team.
see a light. I see
Despite
a light. Mainly the light that's in front of me right now, but it's a light.
despite their deficiencies, this team is good enough to make the NCAA tournament. They hang with the teams that are in the top 20, and that is a tournament team. So you see them going to the tournament. Let's first real quick. In your opinion, what seed are we talking for the SEC tournament? You think? It's kind of hard. I get it, but where are you thinking?
Maybe a 6 or 7 seed.
Wow. Okay, that's a little higher than I am. I'm at the
I
six
mean,
to nine range
I mean,
is
we're
where
we're
I'm
we're
at.
four
But
and two. We're 4-2 in the last 6 games. We
okay,
won
yeah,
a very physical game in Gainesville against Florida. Um, we won in Ole Miss. Ole Miss isn't a bad team. I mean, I can see us being a 6 or 7 seed. Take your pick.
okay, all right. NCAA
You
tournament.
missed it.
I did. I'm not hip like the kids. Um, if there ever was an old man saying, that was it right there. That was
I'm
it.
not hip with the young crowd.
So Josh, tournament seating. For me, I feel like this team can be a 5 or a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. Where do you think they're at? Obviously not that high.
See, I'm right around the 9 to 11 seed range.
Mm, okay.
9 to 11.
I think it could be within that range. Okay. Yeah. So,
I think we exit in the round of 32.
okay. Well, Josh, we have a lot of the season left to go. The day that this airs, we're playing Vandy. I think we'll see what this team is really made of in that game. We'll see where we kind of lay. If we lose that game, I think we're in a little bit of a trouble. But I think we can get through this. We've lost the last 2 games, but we can bounce back, Josh.
Yes, we can bounce back.
No
We,
matter
we, we
what,
can do it.
though, no matter what,
Always
though,
worry.
an Auburn player won the Super Bowl yesterday, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be grateful for that, and grateful that 2 Auburn players won the Super Bowl yesterday. With all that being said, Josh, War Eagle.
War Damn Eagle.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back.